This is Adrian Manz. If you'd like a copy of my book, Around the Horn, A Trader's Guide to Consistently Scoring in the Markets, visit TraderInsight.com, where you'll receive a 30% discount and 3-day shipping. That's the best price anywhere, only from Trader Insight.
From Los Angeles, TraderInsight.com presents Dr. Adrian Manz in the war room and at the helm with today's look at stocks and sectors on the radar.
For TraderInsight.com, I'm Adrian Manz, and this is Stocks and Sectors on the Radar for Thursday, April 23rd, 2009. On Wednesday, Dow Jones Industrials down 83 points to close at 78,8657. We had 1,622 stocks advance, 1,403 decline, and NYSE total volume at 1.77 billion shares. That leaves us at the bottom of the recent trading range. We've got sort of another Dow box, a mini Dow box, if you will, that formed since the beginning of April. That overlaps significantly with the box that we had in January, early February, which of course led to the big decline and then the big recovery. If I had to guess, I would still say the Dow Jones Industrials have a retest baked into the cake down to about 7,500, maybe even down around the 7,200 level. The S&P 500, which closed down 653 at 843.55 on Wednesday. Same kind of a story here. Would have preferred to have seen an extension up around 900 before a move to the downside, of course, but if that would have been the case, I would have been looking for about an 850, 840 test, given what's going on in the market right now. 814, 815 seems to be the area that we would test, and then if we get a bounce to the upside, that will paint a very clear picture of what the market bias is. NASDAQ 100 up 666 on the session to 1335.72. NASDAQ comp up 227 to close at 1646.12. We had 4 on the radar for Wednesday. We had a bunch of interesting price action there. Let's have a look at that and then take a look at what's on deck for Thursday's trading. First one on the list, Crane Company, ticker symbol CR. This was a fastball, expansion of range, expansion of volume. We had an entry price, $21.62, with an initial profit target at $22.03. Here's an intraday chart of this one, 5 minutes. These are all 5-minute compressed bars. We had a $21.62 entry, as I just said. This went smoothly to the profit target and just traded beyond. I mean, you had to be asleep at the switch to take this thing off right at the profit target or have an automated exit in place. Logical extension was that first resistance area, and after that, of course, we had to move all the way up to $22.60. So Crane, fastball, really wound up being a decent trade on the session. Nice extra extension over and beyond what we were looking for initially. Next, we had Delta Airlines. This was also a fastball, expansion of range, expansion of volume. We had an 825 trigger on this. We see that on the session, Delta got up to $8.24. Never got the trigger, just reversed. Came back in again and closed in the middle of the range. I will be ignoring Delta for the rest of the week unless this becomes a nice deep pullback and maybe a fastball expansion to the downside. Enbridge Energy Partners, ticker symbol EEP. This was a switch hitter setup with an entry at $34.51 and an initial target up around $34.90. This one was kind of a mess in early trading, but eventually it got us to the profit target as well. Let's have a look at the intraday 5-minute chart on this one. We see here the stock opened, got us in on the first 5-minute bar of the session, gets up within a penny of being 10 cents from the profit target, which of course is where we move our stop up to the 50% level, before reversing, goes back down through the 50% to target level and takes us out at the initial entry price. Over the course of the morning, gets us back in again, plays that same game, gets up higher, pulls back in lower again, but by the time that midday rolled around, we managed to get to the profit target on EEP. This one was not a beautiful trade by any stretch of the imagination, but nevertheless, profit's a profit. And finally, we had a switch hitter set up in Gaylord Entertainment Company. This is ticker symbol GET. An entry price was $11.75. Quick scalp on this one was up to $12.05, and then we had an extension that we were looking for, possibly up to $13. That obviously didn't happen, but the scalp happened, and better yet, it happened 3 times. So this made for a very good trade on something that looked like it was just going to be a few pennies. Let's look at the 5-minute chart on this one as well. Stock triggered, got us in, $11.75, right? And then we move up here and we get to $11.97, which is within 10 cents of the initial profit target. Even if those profit targets are small, you want to stick to your discipline. So when it comes back in again, just took the trade off, just tiny profit on it, $100, nothing to write home about, right? comes back down, gets us back into the position again, kind of does this same dance where it's just moving around this first resistance, and then boom, up to the first profit target, the initial target on the session, then comes back down again, comes all the way back down to $11.30, moves up, gets us into the entry zone one more time, and then up and away to the initial profit target at $12.05. In this case, it got as high as $12.20, but I didn't have the benefit of that additional ride, since this pop to the downside here had me pretty convinced we were headed back down to $11.30. Didn't happen that way, but could have. Got to read them as they come. The open book looked like there was some pressure, but all things considered, this was just a small scalp setup, and it really wound up being a decent trade on the session. Nice money maker. Now let's take a look at what's on deck for Thursday's trading. I've got 3 stocks. I've got a metals and mining, household durables, and an aerospace. Metals and mining, I've got Agnico Eagle Mines Incorporated, ticker symbol AEM. This is a switch hitter setup, switch hitter pullback. We've got a short side entry on this one, possibly around $45.34 a share, somewhere in there. Tight profit target right around 45 bucks. Next one is Snap-on Incorporated, ticker symbol SNA. This is a fastball expansion of range, expansion of volume. Got sort of a tight profit target on this one here. I'm going to be looking for an entry at $32.03, $32.05, somewhere in there, with a $32.50 target on the expansion continuation. So if we see a burst higher on this, it could get up there. I call it tight because it's actually got a lot of room to the upside if you're looking back at the support and resistance going back into January and February, but it looks like it's going to run into a bunch of junk that's probably going to stop it dead in its tracks, so about 50 cents on that one if it happens. And then I've got Teledyne Technologies Incorporated. This is an aerospace and defense, ticker symbol TDY. This one's also a fastball expansion of range, expansion of volume. I don't particularly care for where it closed on the session. It is in the top 25% of the bar. It does meet the criterion. I'm going to look for a move on this one to the floor trader pivot, so just keep an eye on those levels. This would be an entry at $33.67, $33.70. Going to watch carefully to see what the sector's doing. It's DFX.X is the defense sector. If we see strength there and we see strength in the broader markets, I'm going to look for that entry and see if I can't squeeze something out of it. So if you have any questions, shoot me an email, adrian@traderinsight.com. Use protective stops on every trade, and have a great trading day on Thursday.